Hey, I'm McLaughlin here from SnareDrumTV.com. This is episode 32. In this episode, I'm going to show you a really great accent tap exercise that will help you improve your accent to tap relationships as well as any accented passages that you want to play. If you want free snare drum sheet music for this accent tap exercise, simply head over to SnareDrumTV.com, find episode 32, and underneath that video you'll find a big button that you can click on, and it'll take you straight to the snare drum sheet music for this exercise. So, let's go ahead and get into it. This exercise is called 7/8 bucks. It's called 7/8 bucks because we're based in 7/8 time. What 7/8 time means is that there are 7/8 notes in every single measure. What we're going to do is we're going to split those 7/8 notes up into 3 groupings, okay? And it's going to be 2 groupings of 2/8 notes and then 1 grouping of 3/8 notes. So 2 plus 2 plus 3 equals 7, which gives us our entire 7/8 measure, okay? We're going to accent the first note in every single grouping, and then we're going to shift the grouping of 3/8 notes throughout every segment of the measure, okay? So you'll understand that a little bit more as we go on. The first part of this exercise begins with the 2 groupings of 2/8 notes and ends with the grouping of 3/8 notes, okay? So that will sound like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay? And when I play that with my hand, the first note of every grouping is going to be accented, like I said, and it will be counted like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay? Easy enough. So, what we're going to do in the exercise is play that measure twice with our right hand, and then twice with our left hand. So, this is at 100 beats per minute. And I'm going to go ahead and play the first 4 measures of this exercise for you. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. Alright? In the second part of the exercise, we're going to shift that grouping of 3/8 notes to the middle of the measure. Okay? So now we start with a grouping of 2/8 notes. Then we play a grouping of 3/8 notes, and then we play another grouping of 2/8 notes. Okay? So the measure in the middle of the exercise will sound like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Same thing, we're going to play that twice off the right hand and then twice off of the left hand. So the middle section of this exercise sounds like this. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. And finally, in the last section of the exercise, we're going to play the grouping of 3/8 notes at the beginning of the measure, and then play the grouping of 2/8 notes. Okay? So, the last section of this exercise will sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Again, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Alright? Same thing, twice with the right hand, twice with the left hand. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Okay? So, those are the 3 sections of the exercise. We're now going to put them all together and play the entire exercise all the way through. Again, this is at 100 beats per minute. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So, you don't need to count this out loud, but I highly recommend it. The first couple times you do it, yes, you will run out of breath. Yes, I just ran out of breath a number of times. It's a little difficult to do and takes some endurance and stamina, but it gives you a really, really good understanding of this whole 7/8 time concept and really allows you to keep track of where you are, which section you're in, and all of that. So, if you can count out loud, Do it a couple times. If you can't, I challenge you to really beneficial aspect of this exercise to practice doing. Okay? You can also just practice counting out loud, like in your car when you're driving somewhere, or you know, if it's too late to play the drums in your house and you just want to practice this exercise, you can just count it. It's a really good way to, you know, like I said, wrap your mind around this 7/8 concept. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me and let me know. I'd be happy to answer them and help you out as much as I can. If you enjoyed this exercise and this video, please go send it to another drum friend or drum student of yours, either via Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, email, a drum forum that you're on. Whatever is most convenient for you, I would really appreciate if you help spread the word of Snare Drum TV. So, thank you again for watching, and as always, I will see you next time on Snare Drum TV.